What is up, guys? Zane from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to show you a pocket presence trick that's going to significantly open up the middle of the field from those under center passing formations. But before we do that, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the daily uploads here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch me play Madden live, you guys can find me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zan Madden. The link is below in the description, as is a link to my ebook bundle. If you guys are looking for a different way to play Madden 20, maybe finish the year running something a little bit different, you guys can find my full Washington Redskins Hot Route Master single back wing tight U, wing tight, and wing tight Z offense, as well as my 3-4 Bear comprehensive defense. I've spent over 35,000 snaps in the 3-4 Bear this year. It's a defense I've run almost exclusively since day one. And I show you guys how to stop all the popular run concepts, those pesky rollout corners, and lock down the field with coverage concepts that a lot of players don't run as well. So if you guys go to my PayHip account, you guys will get access to over 3 hours of content. It will unlock instantly when you check out. No waiting for me to go live. No waiting for a moderator on my Twitch channel to deliver you the ebook. It's all right there on the PayHip account. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. We're going to be taking a look at a pocket presence trick. You guys have heard before, I am an under center guy. I've always been an under center passer. I feel like under center has the most control for your quarterback in that you can cut your drops, you can manipulate the pocket, you can go to launch points in the pocket, manipulate cutoff lanes for clicking onto your receiver and cutting off routes in front of zone defenders or man coverage defenders. I just prefer it much so to shotgun. I feel like I have a total control over where my quarterback is going to be because I'm dropping away from center rather than always climbing the pocket or climbing to a point from the shotgun. I don't prefer to be that far away from the center, especially in shotgun, because of the pass rush abilities, edge threat elite, pass rush elites, they go nuts, right? And I want to have that ability to kind of manipulate around the pocket and, give myself just a little bit more time to throw in. Also, kind of one of those things that I like to do is quick pass. I don't feel like the shotgun with those side snaps, weird snaps, pro hops from your quarterback after they take the shotgun snap. I don't like those animations, and it kind of takes away from the consistency that I want in a quick passing offense from under center. So with those things in mind, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a trick here that I like to run. And this is going to be from something that I prefer to have spread receivers. I don't like to run this with compression or run a tight end on this concept. This is something with two outside receivers. You could do this from a single back ace. You could do this from a pro personnel. I just prefer it not to be a close variety. So no strong close. You wouldn't want to do this out of a weak close. You wouldn't want to do this out of a near close. You want to be in a pro type set where they're spread out. So let's go ahead and break this down here. This is something that'll work against cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4. It's definitely something that you want to use against those base zone coverages. And what you're going to end up doing here with this is causing linebackers to not know what they want to do on a given play. Do I want to play the quarterback who's up in the pocket, or do I want to drop into my drop zone? So let's go ahead and break coverage here, or break the huddle rather, in pro personnel. And I'm going to start off with the cover 4 drop show 2, which is a very popular defense, especially when you go to 2 backs on the field. A lot of players are going to go 3-4 odd. A lot of them are going to go to cover 4 drop show 2 because they feel it's the best blend of run defense, as well as the ability to, kind of stop the pass with all those guys in coverage. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show this concept with 2 10-yard in routes. Typically speaking, if you ran these, they aren't the best. Right here, we actually got sacked right away. That was wonderful. But, if you try to throw these 10-yard in routes, typically speaking, especially on the wide side of the field, they actually get stopped. If I were to go and throw this on the break here, that curl flat is right there, right? On the short side of the field, they will play a little bit more shallow. So you could kind of fit this throw to Mohamed Sanu on the backside if you want. Actually, right there, it played it perfectly. So that's the problem, right? Is you've got these zones that you want to try to get to bite down just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a pocket presence trick. A lot of these under center plays, if you run the drop, this is a slants concept. So you see right here how quickly they bit down. You notice that the shorter the drop is, the closer to the line of scrimmage the linebackers play. I'll go ahead and illustrate that again. I'm going to go ahead and go to max protect. I'm going to use 2 10-yard in routes, and I'm just going to let this play. Notice how they kind of bite down. That opens up the middle of the field. I didn't have to do anything crazy. But if I were to go ahead and set up that same route combination from, say, a different play, let me see how far Texas goes. Texas is about a 5-step drop, right? So let me go ahead and throw this ball away. I'm going to set up that exact same route combination from Texas, and I want you to watch how the linebackers play. So I audible to Texas, which is not a 1-step drop. I'm going to go to the max protect. I'm going to go with the 2 in routes, smart route them up to 10 yards, and I'm going to run this play from the drop. See how they drop back? Actually, right there, you see, I can still fit that throw, right? But it looked a little scary that maybe a better hook curl defender, higher zone coverage might be able to get their hands up. And you kind of want to be able to get them to bite down a little bit more. So what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to show you that by choosing to play Texas, and we can run the 2 smart in routes. You could run posts as well if you want. What we're going to do is we're going to hold the thumbstick before we snap the ball. If you want to cut the drop and kind of drift to the left, you're going to hold down and to the left. If you want to cut the drop and hold to the right, or kind of drift to the right, you're going to hold down and right. So basically what I'm saying is 7 or 8 o'clock to the left, or 4 or 5 o'clock to the right. And what this does is instead of that 5-step drop, it'll just cut him straight after 1 drop in the pocket. So you're going to see right here how that works. See how he's up in the pocket, and it opens up that throwing lane really, really well. So the closer to the line of scrimmage you are, the closer to the line of scrimmage the linebackers will play. And this is something that, obviously in the shotgun, you don't have that ability because you're not cutting your drop. This is yet one of those many reasons I prefer to be, you see right there, he did a really good job, but the hook curl defender bit. So depending on the play that you call, this is going to change how the linebackers drop in their zones. A lot of people don't understand that based off of, what play you call, that'll change the angles of the pass rush. It'll change the drop angles of the zone coverage defenders. They think all the route combinations from all the different plays are created the same. Your quarterback's animation from under center dictates how the pass rush in the zone coverage works. So let me go ahead and go into, say, 494 F flat, which is, I believe, a 5 or 7-step drop here. Take a look here. We'll run this play stock here. 1, 2, 3, about a 5-step drop. So let me go ahead and throw this ball away now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same type of thing out of strong pro. We're going to max protect. We're going to have, an out route, or I'm sorry, an in route on both sides. And we're going to smart route them up. And you just cut your drop. You see how they bite down? That opens up the middle of the field so well for us. So you can go into the lab and kind of find what plays are going to work best for you on this concept. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about from this is you do not actually want to leak a tight end down the field. I'll show you what I mean. So notice how I cut my drop, and it causes all those linebackers to kind of step forward towards the quarterback. Now, right there, I could have thrown the ball to B or X, depending on, the timing of the throw. But you'll notice that there's one player that doesn't, and that's actually going to be the outside linebacker over the tight end. The wide side player typically does not bite when you use this tip. So you see right here how this causes them to kind of bite up a little bit. That's cover 4. Now let me go ahead and go right back to that same play, and we're going to go and test this against cover 2. So the reason I'm going to skip cover 3 is that cover 3 has the same zones. It's hook curls and curl flats. Cover 4, hook curls and curl flats. Now let's go ahead and do this against, cover 2 style defense. So again, max protect, just have some sort of in breaking route, and you're going to cut your drop. So you see right here, I cut my drop. See how they both bite up? That opens up the middle of the field. Now, the user could be one of those 2 guys, right? It could be either. You could use posts if you want on this. Obviously skinny posts. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look for you, but you see how that's going to open up, that mid-read zone ends up biting down here in this example. So, this is something that you guys can use especially if you know which player they're using on the field. This is really going to open up those intermediate, type throws. The other thing you can do, motion the guy into the slot, motion him back out for this short post. That's one that you could definitely use. And then cut your drop as well. So you see here, I cut my drop. That's going to open up that throw really well. So you don't necessarily have to use 10-yard digs. You can use, flat posts as well. One thing I would say though, so like when we talk about this, compression is not good. So if I were to go into compression and try this same tip, I personally don't love how this plays. I think it's because of the positioning of the receivers that you don't really get them to bite. Well, you see right there, that was a deep drop. I didn't cut my drop right there. Let me do that again. I think when you're in compression, the linebacker zone rules change a little bit in terms of how they drop. Again, spacing, drop. There's a lot of factors into how zone coverage is going to play. But you see right here, I'm going to cut my drop. See, I got one guy to bite, just one, but the two guys in the seams didn't. And that's because I think it was those guys were in the seams. So that's one thing to consider. So, if you run something like this, again, we know that the outside linebacker on the wide side typically doesn't bite. But one thing you could do is go ahead and streak that wide side guy, put the guy on the short side on a short post, motion him out, and do that same trick. Get him to bite up, and that's going to open up that throw really well for you. Again, obviously, this is against your base coverages. If they're in 3-4, just rushing a base front with 3 or 4 rushers, that's something that you can try. Another thing as well is if you're facing, like I think your nickel over G, that's another popular base rush call. So let me go ahead and call like big nickel cover 3. So if I were to do something like this, motion this guy out and cut my drop. Now I'm not sure we got a D tackle over my left guard, so we'll try this to be careful. But you see how they bite up, and that's going to really allow you to make that throw. It basically does the same things to all those zones on the short side of the field. Now, if I were to change which side was the wide side, we're going to see a different result here on this play. So in this situation, what I might do would be to put B on a post. And this is something I'm going to learn on the fly here. And if I were to cut my drop to the right here, I would cause, I believe, the zones on the right to kind of bite. So see right here, I do this. Yep, you see how he bites down? That opens up the middle of the field. So there's a couple things that you want to pay attention to. The first thing is obviously, who are they using? If they're using the wide side of the field hook curl, chances are you're going to be able to hit that short side read. But if they're using the short side of the field hook curl, you're not really going to be able to manipulate that the way you want to with your drop. So just pay attention to who they're using. You can always, catch them when they switch their player. If they start to scramble around their formation, that's something you can do as well. But this is a little trick that I've kind of had all year, and I just really haven't found time to kind of show that, because it's one of those things where, a lot of people, obviously in a heavy blitz meta, aren't interested in finding out those types of things. But I think in next year's game, we're hearing blitzing is really tough. So, I think that this is something you should be paying attention to. Cutting your drops from under center is super important. It's going to help open up that middle of the field a lot more for you guys, especially from some of those, spread sets. In all these examples right now, I've been motioning from compression out wide. But if you can find a formation that has maybe a flatter post route, that could be really big for you. So, take a look at your playbook in terms of, how it works, and see if you can find something. I mean, a lot of formations will have a flat post. I think of single back. Here's a good example: FL drive, flanker drive here. So if I were to do this, max protect, and cut my drop, that opens up, those guys bite down right away. That's going to open up that throw really, really well. So, get in the lab with this. Let me know what you guys are doing. If there's anything that you guys are doing out of this, this is something that I think will help your guys' passing game, especially as you head into Madden 21, where I think we'll see more of a return to base coverage calls and a little bit less of that heavy blitz meta. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those below. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab in. Good luck.